Audi's flagship SUV comes to BeamNG. It's the Audi Q8. This new free mod is highly detailed. Let's take it for a test drive. So the Audi Q8 is Audi's top-of-the-line SUV. It's a bit like the Audi Q7, but with a coupe roofline, so it's a bit more of a sporty Audi Q7. Now this car shares its platform with things like the Audi Q7 and the Lamborghini Urus, as well as a few other SUVs, but this vehicle is £9,000 more expensive than the Audi Q7, yet the Q7 has 3 rows of seats and this just has 2. So you're kind of sacrificing practicality for style, but it's still got quite a big trunk. I love the interior on this mod. It's so nice. Great modeling and great texture work. Definitely one of the nicest interiors I've seen in BeamNG. We're starting with the base diesel model, the 45 TDI. All the models of the Q8 do have quattro all-wheel drive. And you know what? The engine model isn't that bad. There's quite a bit of detail in the engine bay. So this base diesel model has a 3-litre V6 engine. It produces about 250 horsepower. Now that's not quite enough to haul this really heavy 2-ton SUV to speed, but it's still pretty quick. It's not bad. I can put it into sport mode. Look, we do have a very good automatic gearbox on this vehicle. Very snappy gear changes. I guess it's a double clutch transmission. And compared to the Audi Q7, this car is far more agile. It almost feels like a car, whoa, half its size. We're pushing 90 miles per hour now, and to be honest, there's almost no body roll. This car has been really well sorted for driving at speed. So time for a crash test into this van, and yeah, I am actually quite impressed with the crash model on this vehicle. You can see how all the panels have separated and the underneath looks quite detailed. Lots of bits have flown off. For a real-world car mod, the crash model on this thing is pretty good. This mod has 9 configs. Unfortunately, the modder Andronisk has put 2 extra configs, fake configs, with QR codes to their Telegram and Boosty. Please do not use these QR codes. I don't know if the locations they take you to are safe. But anyway, we do have diesel models, petrol models, and the highly powerful SQ8 and RS Q8. Next up, we're trying the 55 TFSI. It's a petrol model, and it has a 3-litre V6. Now, TFSI stands for Turbo Fuel Stratified Injection. Crazy name, but it does mean this thing produces 340 horsepower. In some ways, diesel has kind of fallen out of favor, and wow, this petrol engine is really good. Why would you want a diesel? Leave the diesels to the Audi Q7. This thing is a sporty car, and I'm loving driving it. It's probably the most fun SUV I've ever driven. Whoa, in BeamNG. Let's get on here. Brakes are not very good, but remember, this car is quite heavy. Let's take it to the city streets to see just how agile this thing is. Whoa, yes. Okay, not much oversteer. The ESC really kicks in, but it's a good ESC system. It doesn't limit your performance. It does, however, get you out of those sticky situations where you're going to spin and crash. Whoa, over the junction. Bit of a jump. Did we knock the mirror off? Yep, we've lost the mirror. We've just got oodles of power, and that gearbox really helps this thing just catapult itself to 0 to 60, and I think in about 5 or 6 seconds. Whoa! Oh dear. Okay, let's pull over into the gas station, and I'm going to show you some of the interior features. So we do have an interactive interior. Down here, you can see you can interact with the handbrake and the start-stop mechanism, which I can't get to work, but it is there, the button anyway. We also have a hazard warning light. You can turn off and on the engine, and of course, you have to have an interactive dome light. Another interesting thing is that the Audi virtual cockpit, this digital dashboard, is actually from another mod. It's the Audi RS6 and RS7 mod, which has basically been cancelled. It's not going to come out anytime soon. We've heard nothing from it, but the multimedia stuff and the infotainment system has survived and come to this mod. And it's a brilliant system because you can put it into dynamic mode and into this race mode when you turn off the ESC. We've got accelerometers down here, and look, the amount of power and torque we're using. Even a boost meter. I love it. So let's test that system with the S Q8. Okay, we're in race mode now, and this thing does have a V8 engine, but it's a diesel V8 engine. You can get the SQ8 as either a diesel, whoa, or a petrol. And it has about 430 horsepower. Now this is the diesel you want with your Q8. And what an amazing sound it makes. Oh yeah, whoa, so this car has better brakes, better suspension, better everything really. Audi's S models are still very, very competent cars. They're not quite the RS, Q8 or whatever, but whoa, you can floor it, and this thing, even with its diesel engine, is super quick. Whoa, we have got good brakes, but it does say front brakes are fading. Now, part of the reason for that is when you turn off the ESC in modern vehicles, it doesn't actually turn off the traction control completely, and when I push it through the corners, the brakes will activate to stop me spinning out, and that puts even more stress on the brakes. But it handles flat. It really is an agile SUV. Whoa! So the petrol SQ8 has a 4-litre V8 engine, and listen to this. That is meaty, and we're getting backfire. Also, in the interior, can you see the dynamic mood lighting, which matches the exterior color? I really like that. And look at the seats. You've got this brown leather seating with Alcantara inlays on the doors. Oh yeah. Okay, up the mountain we go. Let's see if this thing can do a bit of a drift around the corners. We have still got the traffic on, which is going to be a problem, but here we go. Whoa! I don't know. All-wheel drive is actually very, very good on this car. It kind of stops the car spinning out and drifting, which maybe isn't so much fun, but it's safer, that's for sure. Here we go. Whoa, and you can feel all the power is going straight to the wheels. We're not losing anything from wheel spin. I'm fairly confident this is the fastest road-going SUV for BeamMG. Except for drag configs of other cars, this is definitely the fastest SUV you can drive in the game. But if you know something that's faster, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to see something quicker than this. Okay, we're going onto the highway now. I want to see if this thing has a speed limiter at 155 miles per hour, like a lot of modern German cars do. Now, this is the SQ8, so maybe they've removed the limiter. Let's find out. And check out the GPS screen. I love how that thing looks. It's really detailed. Okay, we're accelerating past 140 miles per hour now, 145, and there's 155. We're still going. 160. Whoa! Nearly dodged them, but yeah, this thing is faster than 155. Come on, hit the brakes. Oh, and all the screens have broken. So it's time for the Audi RS Q8. The SQ8 has 500 horsepower, but this thing has 600 horsepower. It's basically got the same engine, a 4-litre petrol V8, but with a bigger turbo. I think it's got twin turbochargers, actually. You can see the Alcantara seats in here, the red lighting. I really like the sunroof, by the way, in this thing. It's just a shame you can't cover it up or open it. That'd be a nice little control to have in here. So 600 horsepower, does it make a difference? And the answer is, I'm not sure. 500 is definitely, whoa, we can drift it though. Whoa, look at that. Yeah, 500 is enough for a SUV of this size. Do you really need an extra 100 for like 20 or 30 more grand? Well, it's clearly faster. This thing has a 0 to 60 time of about 4 seconds, which is amazing for an SUV. Whoa! And with the use of the handbrake, can we get this thing to drift? Here we go. I would say yes. Oh, usually Quattros are known for their four-wheel drifting ability, a bit like that. And yeah, no matter the Audi, they all kind of handle like this, thanks to the Quattro system. We're going to have to take it to the racetrack to put it through its paces. This thing should be good around the corners without drifting. Whoa, no, it's not. Wow, that is an understeery vehicle. Okay, try that again. I'm pushing it in. There's almost no sensation from the front wheels. It just wants to understeer. Okay, can it drift though? Come on. No, I haven't got flappy paddles, unfortunately. Here we go. Oh, yeah, it can drift. Whoa. So, yeah, a very, very heavy vehicle. Not really a race car. And when you take it to the racetrack, you just can really tell how understeery and then oversteery this car is. Wow. It is very quick though. Here we go. We're accelerating now. Let's try and hit 155 before the end. Over this hill, tall vehicles usually lose their balance. So does the Q8? Not at all. That's 155. Hitting the brakes. Really hammering the brakes. We're fading at the front. Okay, up here. Yep, handling okay so far. Let's try the corkscrew corner in the Q8. It's very rare I drive a vehicle this big around the corkscrew corner, but we're going to take it at about 45 miles per hour. Oh, yeah. Very understeery, but whoa, you can kind of recover just by plowing your foot onto the throttle. But we're not done yet. We have 3 highly tuned Q8s. This is the Mansory, and all of these vehicles have exactly the same engine, an 800 horsepower version of the RS Q8. So Mansory is a tuning company. They've added a front splitter here and some gold or bronze wheels. Then we've got Prior, who have the same engine, but look at this bonnet scoopy sort of thing. That is interesting. And then Urban, which I think is my favorite. It's just blacked out. There's absolutely no color. Also, all the Q8s in this mod do have the flowing Audi indicators, which is a really nice effect. Great to see it in BeamMP. It's the same at the front too, and yeah, that's on all the models, not just these tune models. So yeah, let's drive the Urban. I'm going to put it into race mode, and we have 800 horsepower to play with. So let's go. Flooring it. Lots of wheel spin. This is going to be a pretty good drift vehicle, I think. Into the first corner, and whoa, yeah, handbrake helping a bit. Whoa, okay, wow, it really snaps with the oversteer. Right, let's not push it too hard. Try not to drift too much. Whoa, yeah, even more understeery. So the more power you put on this thing, the more you realize just how heavy a vehicle it is. You can imagine all the weight shifting around with 800 horsepower. Whoa, why am I looking backwards? With 800 horsepower, here we go, handbrake, drift, drift. That was a drift. That was actually a drift. So what do I think of the Audi Q8? Well, I'm not an SUV fan, but I am a relative fan of Audi. And to be honest, I would rather have one of these than the Audi Q7. That thing is just a bus. This is a little bit more exciting and still very, very luxurious. Whoa, brakes still need to be just a little bit better. But there you go, the Audi Q8. Let me know if you like the mod and if you're going to download it in the comments down below. I've left a link to it in the description. If you'd like to see another real-world car mod for BeamMP, click the video on screen right now. It's the BMW 3 Series E30. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon for some more simulator adventures.